Okay, so I'm going in here first with some MAC strobe cream. I'm just taking it on the high points of Maya's face just to add a nice glow underneath the foundation that I will be putting on top. Just buffing it in, and as you'll see, it just gives a really beautiful natural glow that will come through the foundation that I'll be putting on top. Gorgeous. Now I'm going in with MAC Face and Body Foundation. I'm just buffing it in with this IT Cosmetics brush. I'll link it below. This is a very light, semi-buildable foundation. I would say it builds to a light medium coverage if you really keep layering it and working it, but her skin is amazing, so I'm just kind of doing a thin layer just to kind of even out any discoloration that may have been in her skin to begin with. I'm now taking MAC's Prep and Prime highlighter in the shade Bright Forecast right under her eyes. It's a really lightweight formula, but it has some peach undertones, so it's really great for canceling out any darkness. And you can't really see in this video because it's shot so bright, but she did have quite a bit of darkness under her eyes. I didn't want to completely conceal it out because I thought it was kind of sexy and gave that boy beat vibe, but I did want to neutralize it a bit. And now I'm just tapping it in with my finger just to really blend it and make it seamless with the skin. I'm just taking another one of those highlighters. This time it's in the shade called Light Boost, and I'm using it just to brighten up that under eye area a little more. Again, I love it because it's just so lightweight and it doesn't add too much weight under that eye area, and it just does a really beautiful job of brightening that area without adding too much coverage. And again, I'm just blending this with the other end of that IT Cosmetics brush. I really love this brush, by the way. And then I'll go in and tap the product in with my fingers just so the warmth from my hands will really blend this product in seamlessly with the skin. I'm also taking this Light Boost shade down the bridge of her nose, on her forehead, and a little bit on her cupid's bow and chin, just to add some extra dimension and highlight to her face. I kind of like to bounce around the face when I'm working, so I'm going to switch to starting to work on the eyes now, and I'm going in with a MAC paint pot in the shade Groundwork and a fluffy brush. I think it's a 217 that I'm using here, and I'm just buffing that color in from the lash line pretty much all the way up, almost to the brow bone. I really love this shade. It's great for everyone, but especially for Maya. It just kind of mimicked the natural tones that were coming through on her lid, and I just wanted to really play into that, so I'm just buffing that shade in and starting to create some depth here. And I'm just going back in a couple of times just with some light layers building onto that initial base that I created, just again to create some more depth in the shade. I really love a spiky full brow, and I was wishing that I had remembered to pack some soap brows, but I forgot to pack it for this kit. So I actually just went in with a little spoolie and some hair paste that was at the salon, and I'm just working it through the brows. It was a little challenging just because of the texture of the product, but I found that mixing it with some of my tinted brow gel helped, and that's why I'm going back in so many times, just trying to create the right texture and amount of fullness in the brow here. Now I'm going to really work on starting to build that depth and dimension in Maya's skin. I really love using a cream product for this just because you can really work it into the skin and it looks very lifelike rather than a powder sitting on top of the skin. So I'm going in here with my RCMA KJB complexion palette. I've just mixed a couple of shades right on my finger from the palette, and I'm using the warmth from my hands to get that initially onto the skin and buffing it in with a dual fiber brush. This palette can be really challenging for people who have never worked with it before because the product in here is very waxy, but it's also super pigmented. So I find that the best way to work with it is to really warm the product up on your fingers or the back of your hand before going in and trying to blend it into the skin. It just works so much better that way, and it's much easier to use. So again, I'm going in with another layer of this just to continue to build depth. And as you can see here, when Maya turns her face, she does have a really beautiful contour and that dimension in her features, but it's very natural looking. It's very lifelike. As I said before, I am a sucker for cream products, so I'm going in with Glossier's HALOSCOPE in Moonstone on the high points of her face, on the cheekbones, down the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow. I don't really like to take the product onto the tip of the nose so much. I really enjoy doing the highlight more between the eyes on the bridge of the nose, and then I'm just blending that in with a fluffy brush. Now I'm just having Maya look down. I'll do a half squeeze on the lash curler, ask if everything's okay before I continue. And then I'm gonna go in with my most favorite tool ever. It's the BDELLIUM Tools Bent Lash Fan Brush. You just load it up with mascara. You can get in there and paint every single lash, get to the base of the lashes, get underneath the lashes. It's just an incredible tool, and it has changed my game. And it's also great because you don't have to worry about keeping disposables in your kit and being stuck in that situation where, God forbid, you run out before a gig is over and then you have to give your client the mascara you've used. But definitely get this brush, it's amazing. And again with the cream products, I'm going in now with Glossier's Cloud Paint in the shade Dusk. This is my most favorite shade. I use it alone, I mix it into the other shades. It's just a beautiful lightweight gel formula. I use it on the lips, the cheeks, the eyes. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. I love you, Glossier. Thank you so much for encouraging women to embrace their natural beauty and creating products that make it just so easy to do that. I had initially prepped Maya's lips with Lucas Papa ointment right before we started the makeup, and so now I'm just wiping it off, and I have a nice smooth base to go in and start building this amazing red lip. I am using the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in the shade Cruella. I love this so much. It's such a great thing for the everyday woman to own because you can really build that shape much easier than if you're trying to do a red lip straight out of a lipstick bullet, because it's got that tip like a pencil. It just goes on really smooth. It's not too mattifying to where it makes your lips look kind of dry and yucky like a lot of other matte formulas do. So I definitely love this, and I will be buying it in every shade ever. I'm pretty sure right now I was gushing to Maya about how obsessed I was with it, and she is looking super impressed, as you can see. Here's a little secret. Building a bold lip takes time. And I will say that, you know, even though you can see me going back in here and really perfecting the shape, this is the fastest I've ever built a bold lip in my life as a makeup artist. So again, that's just another reason to invest in a product like this, because it just makes your life easier. And I personally want my life to be easier. Also, make sure you have your client open their mouth all the way and you get in those little inner corners. It's the little details that you don't want to miss that, you know, you may not initially see, but when you get a photo back, you would say, oh man, I wish I, filled that in. Maya was definitely made to be a YouTube model. She's so cute. Every time I finish a step, she kind of does this cute little dance and she shows you the makeup. So she was super fun. taking a little concealer on a flat square tipped brush and I'm cleaning up that lip line just so that it's really sharp and beautiful. So now that the skin is done and I've got that bold red lip on, I can see where I need to then make adjustments. So I'm going back in with that paint pot in Groundwork, just going back over the lid and under the eye just to define it a little more and add some more dimension to the look. I wanted a tiny bit more depth, so I dipped my shadow brush into just a mid-tone matte brown shade and ran it through the crease and a little bit under the eye. To keep the look nice and fresh and her whites of her eyes looking super white and bright, I went in with a flesh toned eyeliner and lined that bottom waterline. And now I'm just finishing the look by going in with my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish powder in the shade Light, just under the eyes to set that concealer and in the T-zone to knock down any of the shine that may have been a little overwhelming, but still keeping the high points of the face nice and glowy. And here is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely loved doing this collaboration. If you want to see how we achieved Maya's hairstyle, stick around and I will link that below. Thank you again so much for watching. I'm so happy to be back and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.